Hey everybody, Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Talos Trading Floor. It is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Very interesting day today. Microsoft is now the most valuable company in the world. Isn't that amazing? It overtook Apple, and wow, it is in the trillion-dollar club. Can you imagine that? That's more money than many countries are worth. Boy, a lot of money. Um, we had, Microsoft was up pretty nicely on that news, and it's a interesting day in the market in that way because this has been a long time. This has been a long time coming, I think, and it's very interesting that indeed that would be the case. So, get into the slots. Let me get them up. All right. Just take a second. And by the way, if you're watching on TikTok, it's super easy. Just go to this address and you can see all the slides and everything. As we hopefully that link is working. I was having a little bit of trouble with it earlier, this morning. So, anyways, you can always listen on this and then go to the YouTube site, which will have the archived version of the show. It's because I show a lot of charts on this show. Sometimes it's difficult to get, so sometimes it's difficult to get all the charts on there with the bandwidth that I have, limited bandwidth that I have. So it's always there. But if you're watching on TikTok, I basically it's the same audio, and I do go over charts. But they're also simulcast on YouTube. And if you want to just go directly to that site, super easy to do. Just go to the profile, click on the link, and then scroll all the way down. And then at the bottom, you'll be able to just click on that, and you will be able to see the show with all of the with all the charts and everything on that. So that's kind of good too. All right, so without further ado, let's get into slides. There we go. All right. Basically, it's fascinating, but again, uh, Microsoft is now the biggest company in the world by valuation. Very, very, very interesting. The market remains in a confirmed uptrend. What that means is, you want to be coming out of cash. If you have cash, I do have some cash, and then you want to be coming into stocks. You want to be getting to a place where you're more fully engaged in the market as the market is an uptrend. We came out of this. We did have a correction. We did have a market in wasn't totally in a correction. It was a little bit unstable, but the index has moved very nicely. So now is a good time to be coming back into the market with both guns. Just wanted to show you the chart on Microsoft, and it is amazing. Today, currently at the close, it was up about $7.27 or $2.24. Now, I made the mistake. And I don't know if it was a mistake or not, but I did sell my shares of Microsoft right before earnings. And I typically did that because I was not up 10%. If I was up 10%, I would have held them. But I kind of was taking a sort of wait see approach, which, is a more cautious approach. I did make some very good money on Microsoft, but I did sell them into earnings, which just happened. The earnings were spectacular, needless to say, and the volume went up 33%. Basically, a lot of people are hiding their money. Not hiding their money, but they're putting their money in Microsoft. So, still, possibly, I want to take a look at the chart very closely, see if there's any opportunity to get in, even at this extended price. So, we'll cover that in just a minute. Just wanted to show you the market indexes, and the Dow Jones is up today. Nice, about a quarter of a percent, not a whole lot. S&P is up about 0.19. Nasdaq was the leader today. It was up almost a third, well, a third actually, third of a percent. And the Russell was basically flat. So the Russell 2000, of course, that's the 2000 stocks that are, those are the smaller cap stocks there. But very, very good. We're continuing this upward trend. So, it's a good time to be buying the right stocks when they're in the right patterns. And, hopefully that's what I'm going to try to cover on the show. Now, here's a stock that I did buy today. Now, normally I don't like a composite rating as low as 58. I'll be honest with you. I usually don't. But there were some compelling reasons for me to buy this stock today. One of the things was it was at very much of a buy point, just coming into that buy point. It is in a very good area, the security software area. Now, I'd had Fortinet, FTNT. I did sell that at a profit. I still have CrowdStrike, but I really like this area. This is an area that a lot of companies are investing in. So there is a lot of there's a lot of good things to be said about that security software area. And the Sentinel One, it's a relatively new company, and I typically don't buy IPOs until they kind of form this, they go through they go through, they come out, they get a little bit seasoned, because you don't want to buy it, as it's just coming out of the door, typically, because it's going to pull back and then it's going to find its legs. And hopefully that is the case here with Sentinel One. It's very easy. It's the easiest, one of the easiest symbols on the market. It's just S is that one. So I did buy this today. Bought it on a buy stop limit order, and let me see exactly where I bought it. I have to look out here. But what I did on this one, I wanted to buy it as it was coming into as it was coming above the buy zone. And the way I did that, of course, is I put in a buy stop limit order where the stop was 66.45 and the limit was 66.55. So as it crossed that 66.45 level, it bid 66.55. So I got it basically at 66.55. So I was up about, well, just slightly, just 5 cents at the close. But that's kind of a nice way to buy it. And I've started to buy a lot of stocks like that. Just kind of analyze the chart very carefully, and then go and do that buy stop limit, because I think it's a really good way to buy. The IBD has a interesting stock out today. It's FreshBooks. It's kind of, I guess it's sort of like an online QuickBooks. Don't really know that much about them. Um, I don't really know that much about them, but basically, this is the stock of the day. It's outperforming the S&P 500, which is very good. It's IPO risk. Here's the thing: don't go into this one big or anything like that, because it's risky. Very, if you want to do the IPO stuff, a small position maybe warranted. Maybe a half position possibly, or maybe even a quarter position. I wouldn't go in with a full position on this one. It's coming out of an IPO base, but IPOs can be great. You just don't want to overexpose your portfolio to them. So this one is FRSH FreshBooks, and basically the buy point 49.35. It's currently at 49.91. It just moved past that buy point. It's in the buy range right now. So that might be something that might be kind of interesting to possibly take a look at, as a potential acquisition. I don't own this one, but it does seem to be, set up very well. So that's the kind of that's sort of the long and the short of it. Now here's my small portfolio. I have basically 7 positions, and then I have 1 position in cash. EOG Resources, of course, this is an oil company. Been doing quite well with this one. Salesforce, everybody knows about that one. Denbury Resources, this is another oil company, and this one was set up pretty well. I bought this 2 days ago, and it's up very nicely. Innovative Industrial Properties, IIPR. Now, I don't typically buy a lot of REITs, but this one is really good because it services the cannabis industry, and it pretty much has very, very little competition, great margins. Most of the REITs are not nearly as profitable as this one, but this one doing quite well. Innovative Industrial Properties. Ternium TX, they're going to be having earnings next week. Probably be selling this one. I'm not up 10% since from when I bought this, so I'll probably take profits into earnings. CrowdStrike, of course, we talked about CrowdStrike. Uh, this is um, this is a security software. This is security software, and I'd like to see this one pick up. I don't know if my buy was correct on this one, but it is in a buy zone, so that is definitely the case here. Ford, of course, everybody knows about them. They broke out yesterday, and I did add to that. I still have this cash position. Now, this is a small portfolio. This is kind of where I put issues to see how well they do. The ones that are good, I promote them, and the ones that aren't so much, I do sell them. So that's kind of what I use the small portfolio for. But it's kind of a great way to do it. What I'm talking about here with this, what they call position trading, is basically if you have a portfolio, let's say you have an $8,000 value in your portfolio. If you're using position trading, divide that by 8. That's going to give you basically 8 pizza slices. And the way you go into a stock typically is one pizza slice at a time. So that's kind of how I'm doing. And then once I have those out there, and I've bought those at the correct buy points, then I will look to see how they're performing. And the ones that are performing better, well, I'll reward those ones, and the ones that aren't, I'll just kind of send them on their way. So that's sort of how the position trading, that's how the position trading scheme sort of works. Let me give you a full list of everything that I'm currently in all my portfolios. So you can get kind of a you can get kind of a look here, kind of see. I have, of course, EOG. This is the oil company, down a little bit today. Kind of disappointed on that. CRM, of course, that's Salesforce.com. That's up today. Turnium, this is one's coming into earnings. I'm probably going to be selling this one, not because I don't like it, just because I don't have enough of a cushion there. But Turnium, I'm up on this one, so I'll probably take some profits here. Robert Half, this is a temporary help company, down a little bit on volume, but up nicely on its price. So this one's kind of doing very well. Of course, the QQQ Trust, and I use the QQQ Trust. I have, taxes that I have to pay. So what I do is I escrow them, and I use the QQQ Trust so that I don't have to just sit it in a bank account and earn less than 1%. I can earn, 15 or 16% by using the QQQ. This is the Nasdaq 100 ETF. Great vehicle. If you wanna get ready, keep some of your cash earning money and until you're ready to use it. Crowdstrike, of course, that is the computer security software company. That's up today. Denbury, I bought this one 3 days ago, I guess on Monday. It's up very nicely, $5.17 today, and with a lot of volume. So this one was right at the buy point. That's why I like to buy right under or right at the buy point, because if you're right, then it pops up so nicely, giving you that nice little movement there. This is a 6.48% gain. If you do this on a regular basis, you can make 2 to maybe even 4 or 5% a week on your portfolio. So that's why I like string trading a lot. IIPR, Innovative Industrial Products, that's up today. That's the marijuana REIT that cannabis REIT. Let's be correct here. That's up today too. Ford Motors up a little bit, 0.32, but it's a very inexpensive stock, up about 1.87%. Tesla, of course, I've been piling into Tesla in one of my other accounts. I've been buying Tesla. I've made several buys. I did sell out at 10.10. Then I got back in as I took profits there, and so I'm sort of taking profits as it's moving up. I do believe that Tesla probably will top 1,200 by the end of the year, maybe before that. So, is it too late to get into Tesla? Well, Tesla right now is extended, so it's really not easy to get into. But I do think it's going to make that $1,200 a share move. CubeSmart, this is one I did buy this morning. This is also a REIT. This is the first time I've had two REITs. What they do is they have, they come to your house, you put the stuff in it, they take it to the storage, and so you can do renovations and stuff like that. They seem to be doing really well. CubeSmart, CUBE is the symbol on that one. And of course, then we talked about Sentinel One. That's the IPO. I kind of want to get I want to have at least one toe in the IPO market. It's up about $3.17. Now, interestingly enough, Sentinel One was the stock of the day yesterday. So that kind of follows on. Sometimes you can look at the stock of the day and see where it might be going, and that happened to be the case with Sentinel One. It was the IBD stock of the day yesterday, and I did buy it today as it moved through the buy point. So that indeed was a very good thing. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching today, and let's get to some of the questions on this very nice Friday. It's finally getting cool here in Dallas. It's very nice. I just a shout out to to everyone. I mean, I had dinner last night with a now new dear friend who came from New York and is in the Discord room all the time. So thank you very much. I very much enjoyed it, and I hope to get to New York and visit with you again. So that was very nice of you. Very nice. Very fully, totally enjoyed that. So let's get into the charts. Hopefully, I'll have enough bandwidth today, and it won't have the problem like we did. Yeah, we like did yesterday. Gosh, for some reason the um the bandwidth just wasn't there. It was just so strange, uh, so strange. But that is what it is. It is what it is. All right, so now let's look at. I think. Hey, thanks, Ashok. Look at Spotify. By the way, I'm on Spotify. If you ever want to listen to the audio, I am on Spotify, and uh, it's a really good service. I don't. I try to get all of my things up. Sometimes I'm a little bit. Sometimes I don't get everything up right on time. But let's take a look at Spotify. And wow, okay, so very nice reversal above that 200-day line. So the question is, can you buy it here? Well, this would be a pretty aggressive buy if you did buy it here. But what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to take and see if I can produce a reversal line. So yeah, it definitely has reversed. It definitely has reversed above the 200-day line. So that's kind of bullish. Relative strength 69. Lots of buying here. That's very good. Let's look at the fundamentals. Now, what am I doing here? Well, there's what they call technical analysis and then there's fundamental analysis. What I'm doing here now is what they call fundamental analysis. Now, when I buy a stock or I enter a stock, I look at two things. I look at the fundamentals of it, and that's basically, what you've always been taught. That is, how are the sales doing, or is the profits good, all that kind of stuff. That's fundamental analysis. But then, in order to buy it, I look at the technical analysis, and the technical analysis is the chart action and the volume action, the price and volume action. So, when you're buying a stock, you want to buy it on the fundamentals. So you want to buy a good company in a good part of the market, and then you also want to make sure that it's got the good chart pattern and it has a good entry point. And that, if you do both of that, it'll give you a little bit, better entries. And as you go along and trade, swing trade and this canceling way, and it's very important that you keep records because you will be able to spot where you did really well. And it's sort of like learning how to play the piano or musical instrument or something like that. You're going to get really good at this, and it's really kind of fun. I mean, I keep spreadsheets and I look back and I'm like, wow, I made a terrible entry there. I made a great entry or whatever. And this is the fun part because, literally you can make you can just make a lot of you can just continuously make money on this, as long as the market stays good. So anyways, that's kind of that said. Let's look at some of the let's look at the fundamentals in Spotify. Currently, Spotify is a what they call a growth stock, meaning that it doesn't have any profits. It doesn't have any earnings, but it has sales. So that's kind of interesting. 55% of the people that own this stock are not individuals. They are funds. So that's a very good thing. Typically, most a growth stock will grow most when it has about 20% funds into about 65 to 70% funds because the funds, that's where the big money is, and that's where they're pushing into an issue like this. Basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to see where that big money is going and then sort of follow along behind it to see how that's working. So we had a bit of a fall off here. December of 2020, there were 951 funds in this, but it dropped to 937, and then it dropped again to 893, and then it dropped again to 849. So I don't like, unfortunately, that's a little concerning. That means that the funds, they aren't sticking around. But, I mean, it's still good, but these funds aren't sticking around. Now, one thing I do like about this is any company that can grow 20% a quarter, boy, that's a good company, and that's definitely been the case here. So, it's growing 20%, a quarter, so that's very, very strong. The question is is it strong enough on the fundamentals, and are the technicals strong enough? Well, let's start to look at some of the technical. Well, let's do the let's finish the fundamental analysis. Cash flow, it's a negative cash flow, so it's losing money still. It has very good sponsorship though by the funds, but its SMR rating, and this is a kind of a proprietary rating, is a D. So this is kind of a black mark there. Here's the thing: the relative strength is moving up on this. So I'm looking at the technical analysis. So this is a good sign. It's above the 200-day moving average, so that is good. But let's look at the checklist, and I have a feeling let's see if we can open that up. It's a little bit slow today. Oh, there we go. Okay. So the checklist is the minimum checklist, 67% checklist. Now, where is it falling down? Well, the earnings per share, of course, it's failing on that because it doesn't have any earnings. It is negative earnings and it is still losing money. The relative strength, well, it's not above 80 and it's more than 15% above its all time high. So here's what I would say with this one: this is not a bad stock, but I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't buy it at this time. So right now, I think what you got to do with Spotify, even though it's well known and everything, I think you got to kind of put it on the back burner. You kind of got to put it on the back burner. So what I would say on this is to just 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 watch list this one. I mean, this is not a buy. It's not time to buy or add to this right now. And so it's just we just have to be we just have to be watchful of that. So this is a watch list. And what do I mean by watch list? Well, we kind of want to put it on a list and keep checking back on it to see how it is trading. Here's what I would say on this one: I probably would not be interested in this stock until it got up to this consolidation base, this third stage consolidation base. So I'm much more interested to see if it can move past about 370 in terms of price. If it can move past about 370 in price, then I'm much more interested in the stock. Right now, it is starting to become it's starting to move into an uptrend. It has been in a downtrend. It's starting to move into an uptrend, but I still don't believe it has enough power. Now, alternatively, you could possibly look at a $299 level. So it's still below that. So here's what I would do. I would wait on this one, watch list this one, and if if it can move above 300, then possibly buy. But I wouldn't buy below it. And the reason I wouldn't is because currently it just doesn't it needs more power. We want to buy a stock as it's moving higher. So really, you don't really want to buy it at this level. You want to make sure you want to kind of watch it and see how it's trading and possibly buy it above about that line there. That's about $300. That's sort of where you want to buy it above. So that's kind of my take on Spotify. So I would watch list Spotify, possibly do possibly do a buy, but only if it moves above only if it only goes above $300 a share. I mean, that's really what you got to do. Let's look at CAT. Oh, Caterpillar. Okay, great. You know, Caterpillar, earth moving company based in beautiful Peoria, Illinois, which I've been there. Um, Caterpillar has here's there are some both technical and mental headwinds uh, coming for Caterpillar. Caterpillar, of course, is one of the biggest stocks. It's in the Dow. Of course, there's only 30 stocks in the Dow. and it's a behemoth, and the sales have been moving nicely. I mean, it's 12% here, 29%, 25%. Certainly not a growth stock, but nice profits. The profits were up 74% in the first quarter. Well, that's pretty good. 105 in the second, and 75 in the third. But here's what I am seeing with this: the cash flow in this is just tremendous, but it is in a downward trend, and that is a problem. It is trading below the 200-day line. So, why is it in a downward trend? Well, I think there's a good reason that Caterpillar is in a downward trend, and that is many of the machines that Caterpillar makes are sent to China, and the Chinese use a lot of Caterpillar equipment to build their buildings. Now, the problem is the Chinese property sector has been having significant problems, and so I don't think they're going to be ordering as many Caterpillar machines as in the past. So that's just a hunch on my part. I don't have anything to back it up, but I think what the big I think the people, a lot of the stock analysts are looking out there and they're going, "Wow, yeah, Caterpillar seems to be going good right now, but going on in the future, we may be seeing a slowdown in construction." And of course, it's not just construction in the United States that counts. It is worldwide construction because Caterpillar is, you know, the biggest company that in the construction equipment business. So, I mean, there are other ones in there too, but Caterpillar is the biggest, and so they are looking for a slowdown. So here's what I would say with Caterpillar. I wouldn't buy this. Again, I would watch this one just like I said for the other one. Why? Because it's in a downward trend. And you just don't want to buy something as it's in a downward trend. So let's look at the checklist. The checklist is better for Caterpillar than it is for Spotify. That's definitely for sure. That's definitely for sure. The checklist here is 78, which is quite good. It does look like it is reversing. The pattern does look like it's reversing, but I'm still very, very leery. I just don't want to buy a stock typically that is selling beneath the 200-day moving average, and that's this black line here. So again, I would have to say with Caterpillar, I just like with Spotify, it's going to have to be probably a watch list on this one. So I would watch list Caterpillar for now. And basically, what I'm looking for cat is, it at the very minimum to move about above about 230. Right now, it just isn't there. So I would watch list this one. Would not buy this. Just because of that. Just because of that. All right, let's take a question from TikTok. Thank you very, very much for holding everybody on TikTok. The cat is on the big move into next year. Yeah, it might be. I mean, I think there could be a big move next year. Just wouldn't buy it right now. It's sort of getting ready. Swing trading both. Okay, cool. That's cool. What do you think of Lucid and Hertz? I hadn't been as high on Lucid as I probably should have been. I mean, people have done very well with Lucid, and based on my analysis, I didn't buy it. I mean, I didn't buy Lucid, but let's look at the Lucid chart um, and see LCID. I think is the symbol LCID. Put that up. Oops, if I can, don't fat finger it. Hold on. ID. All right, come on, baby. No. There we go. I got it, finally. Now, instead of Lucid, I did, the one I did for my IPO kinda because I had to get the IPO Jones out of my system, and that was I needed to have an IPO, and the IPO I selected was SentinelOne rather than Lucid. Now, I've been hearing a lot of good things about Lucid, but I still, on fundamental analysis, I just don't like the stock. And remember, when I'm buying, I'm typically buying on both fundamental reasons and technical reasons. Now, for the fundamental analysis, this stock has a negative cash flow and doesn't have any earnings. So that I mean, that's okay. I mean, I know this is Bill Ackerman's SPAC, but I'm still, I know that I know that it's a real company and everything, and it's gone up, but I'm still a little bit dubious on this. I mean, it went up here. There was a lot of buying, 379% volume change. After hours, though, it's pulled back a little bit, 37.30, which is still pretty amazing. I mean, I really think that the hurdle is going to be about that $40 level, and it's pulled off of that a little bit. So, again, I'm not convinced on this one. Earnings are in 7 days, but they really don't matter as much with this company because this won't have any earnings. So you really don't have necessarily any earnings penalty on this one just because it's not going to have any earnings in 17 days. Now, here is the daily chart on it. It did when it came out of the gate, it went all the way up to 64.86. So I'm real leery. I see a little bit of a consolidation. I see a little bit of a little bit of resistance right here at about 50, but at 40, I'm just not sure it has enough oomph yet. I do think that we're probably gonna collapse down probably to about 28.39. That's my guess, is that if you buy it at this level at 37.34, you're very likely to have it come down to about 23.31 before it stabilizes. So, I just can't buy this one in the current position. It doesn't look like a good buy at this level to me. So, I am not gonna be personally, I'm not in this one. It's just, that I don't say don't buy it, but I say if you do buy it at this level, you're going to have to be careful because basically right now, Lucid is, by my calculation, is what they call extended, and I don't think it's always. I think it can be very problematic to buy a stock when the price is extended, and this is extended. And another thing is that Lucid stock, of course, it hasn't proved itself. It's not Tesla. I mean, everybody wants to get the next Tesla, but it took 18 years for Tesla, you know, from when it came out as an IPO to basically kind of where it is now. By the way, let's take a look at Tesla because the automotive group has been doing great, but the automotive group is very skewed because Tesla is 5 times, in terms of market cap, more valuable than the second most valuable, automobile company in the world, and that is Toyota Motors. And so, um, it's very, very tough. Now, as you know, I've been buying Tesla today. I mean, I bought it yesterday, and I did sell it. I've been buying and selling it kind of sort of a day trading kind of thing on Tesla, but I'm going to hold it over the weekend. I did rebuy here at about 1,090, and I had bought it 1,040, 1,060. So I've been buying this as it's moving up. This is not a normally good way to buy a stock. I'll be honest with you. Right now, Tesla is extended. Now I did start buying it also back down here when it was under $700, and I kind of wrote it up. But I've been adding to my position as it's been moving up. Now, of course, I'm moving up my stop loss, and hopefully I won't get stopped out. But this is doing quite well today. So let's look in on the automobile manufacturers. This is the number 11 group out of 197 in terms of the stock market. So what I'm looking at here, what I'm trying to look at is where, sort of like the Wayne Gretzky thing, where's the puck going? That's what I'm looking for. So hopefully we can go over here to the chart, and hopefully it'll let me. So let me just see if I can do that. Go to now. This is the chart for all of the stocks that are in the motive group, and so let's go over here to that, and let's see if I can. I have to kind of look here. Oops. By the way, let's see. Yeah, there we go. What I'm doing is I'm bringing up the list of the group of the. There we go. I- I'm the list of all of the industry groups here, and I'm sorting them for the top. And the reason I do this is that I always want to try to be buying. I try. always trying to push my capital to the best stocks and in the best sectors. So, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. So, with let's take a look at how it is stacking up. So currently, this is the list of industry groups. Number one is still coal, believe it or not. Number two, of course, is this oil and gas. This is why I have two oil and gas companies, EOG Resources and Denbury. And as you can see, automobile manufacturers has moved up significantly, and that's where Tesla is. So I'm going to take a look at that particular, that particular area, and that is, of course, now hopefully we can get this up, and it will. Okay, it's taking a level. This is group number 3711. There we go. Huh. See, it's the lag on the system. There we go. Oh, no, 3711. There we go. Automobile manufacturers. Notice how the automobile manufacturers very, very closely resembles the chart of Tesla. That's because if you look at the automobile manufacturers group, um, basically Tesla is now almost 6 times larger than Toyota. So the money is flowing to Tesla for whatever reason. This is one of the reasons why I'm not as excited about Lucid, because as you can see, it's not even on this list. It isn't even on this list. You know, it's Tesla is 5 times bigger than Toyota, and then Toyota is twice as large as Daimler. BYD, which is this is a Chinese company, Build Your Dreams, is basically the same size as Daimler. That's amazing. General Motors, this used to be the biggest company in the world. It's now smaller than Build Your Dreams, if you can believe that. Ford Motors right underneath that. Stellantis, of course, that's Chrysler. NIO is quite large. That's in China. BMW, it's actually NIO, believe it or not, is bigger than BMW. And then right down here we have Lucid. Now Lucid is worth about $60 billion. It is essentially 1/20th. No, is that right? Uh, yeah, that it's worth basically 2% of what Tesla is. So that's part of the reason why I am not, at least right now, I'm not as interested in Lucid. It just isn't doing it for me because it's not, it can't move. It's not where the big boys are playing in the market. So I would say with Lucid, I think that you probably can make some money in Lucid. It looks like it's moving up, but I tell you, I wouldn't be in it under $50. I want to see, I want to see some more strength in it, basically all the way. I want to see it much more strength in it. Let's take the next question. Thank you very much. Your thoughts on Facebook, and of course, everybody knows that I guess that they're changing the name of Facebook to Metaverse. I don't quite know exactly what that's going to entail, but that's definitely what they're doing. But you know what? I mean, they may be changing the name, but the stock is on a downward trend right now. So Facebook, and this is the thing. It's not enough to just buy the right stock. You've got to buy the right stock at the right time. And right now it looks as if Facebook is, it's moving lower. Now it may have gotten some support here at the 200-day line because there is a lot of there is a lot of volume here, and they did have some good earnings. But I'm still not convinced. The jury's still out on Facebook right now. I wouldn't buy it because I haven't seen it reverse above the reversal line. Now, if it does reverse, and I'm going to go over the weekly chart, then we might be able to get into Facebook because I mean Facebook is a long-term leader, but right now, as you can see, Facebook is in a downward trend, and we just don't want to buy a stock as is in a downward trend. Now, the last time it sort of touched this 200-day line was way back here, was way back here in December of 2000. So that was a while ago. So that was almost a year ago. It tested the 200-day line. Now, where you want to buy it, of course, is as it's moving, reversing off of that 200-day line. That may be the case here. That absolutely may be the case because if this can reverse higher, then this might be a good place to get into to Facebook, but right now the chart is saying that it still may go lower. So what you want to do on this one is you're going to have to wait on Facebook um, until it can make a move. Excuse me, and it can make a move up. It does look like it's starting to, but right now on Facebook, I think you got to be much more careful than you would normally be. You would normally be. So here's my um, take on Facebook, and that is, I would not be in Facebook right now, even though it has a decent checklist, 67%, and it is a long-term leader. The relative strength is only 49. I would pass on this for right now. That's sort of my that's sort of my take on Facebook. So pass on Facebook now. I would not be a buyer of Facebook at this level. I just wouldn't, based on the chart. So pass on it. Put it on your watch list though, because it could bounce, and if it bounces, then it might be a very good buy. But right now, it's still in the downward trend. Don't ever want to buy in a downward trend if you're going to avoid it, because you want to buy as the stock is moving higher. All right, let's see. How about Plug Power? People really like this stock. It was a big one last year. I think I did, but again, I like them when they're moving up, and I don't like them as much when they're going down. That's just the way I am, I suppose. Plug Power did look like it made a move above the 200-day moving average, which is looking good. And this tapering of the volume, this is not bad. So it does look like it might have had a reversal here. I'm just drawing. So that would be the reversal line for Plug Power. So it definitely is heading in an upward trend right now. Plug Power is definitely in an upward trend. It is above the 200-day line. So this is where you could possibly start nibbling on it. It's got a relative strength of 92, which is still very strong. Uh, so, and a checklist of 67. The question is it, is it a good buy right now? Well, the jury's still out on this. I want to look at some of the fundamentals here, because that way I think we can find out sort of, if this is viable. Right now, I probably would not be a buyer of this, but maybe let's see if we can get the fundamental. Yeah, there we go. Sit the fundamentals here. Um, the profits, the sales were up 83%, so this is looking good. Um, 3 quarters ago, we did have this earnings miss. This is what really sent it down. 440, the sales were down 445%, and then we came back. Um, and it does look like we still are holding on to about 900 funds, which are in it, which is good. 35% of the float of the shares are owned by funds, but it's still losing money. So, boy, I tell you what, I probably would pass on this one. There's just right now in the market, there's better merchandise to be had. So I probably would not buy this one. I probably wouldn't buy this one right now. Just, uh, just that's just the long and the short of it. Okay, great. Hey Jim. Thank you very much. I still have position AMD. Good for you. Is it time to get out? Thanks. Good question. You probably know that I was in AMD, and I did sell before earnings, because I didn't have a 10%. Probably, but AMD continues to be a good stock. I'm trading it more of a swing trade right now because of it's so volatile. And I'm looking for the best entries that I can. But right now, the interesting thing about uh, AMD is that it's pulled back to the top of the buy zone. So technically, you could buy it here. It's caught up to the 10-day line. So this is not a bad place to go back in. But I wouldn't buy this one until it changes its trend to an upward trend. It's been down for the last 3 days. So here's what I would do. On the next up day, if we get some significant volume, and again, we've had selling coming in here, but it looks like the selling is drying up. But we've had selling here for 3 days. You see, it looks like it's drying up. Uh, so basically, even though they had this great earnings, there's been a profit taking and sell off. So the question is, on the next up day, which maybe next week, if you want to get more of this, maybe. But you know what? If you have a good profit in this one right now, Ravi, I think I offer my position. I really would, because I want to get the best optimal buy points, and I think you've done quite well. I bought here on the 18th. I bought basically at 11:42, and ran it up points, and then I pulled the ripcord on it. The only reason I pulled the ripcord was because into earnings I didn't have as much of a cushion, and I like to have a cushion going into earnings. If this one settles down to the 21-day line, I may be in this one again. I really like AMD. This is a great company, and I've just been trading it more so than anything else. But if I had profits now, I kind of consider, possibly taking a little bit of, not all of them, but it's never a bad time right now to take a little bit of profit. Um, I don't know if it's time to get out, but I think that if you have profits in it, you might. If you don't have profits in it, you probably want to maybe hold on a little bit longer. But with profits, I think you might want to take some profits. Um, Another really interesting stock from Samuel is Upstart. I've been looking for a good entry into this one. Now, I did have essentially a stock. I didn't hold it that long, only about a week. It was Lending Club, which is kind of in the same area. Upstart is looking. Here's the thing about Upstart. It's currently looking like it's getting some support around the 21-day line. I definitely want to see this thing get some support, but I do like this stock a lot. And if it does move above this 21-day line, then I might be willing to get back into it. Right now, it's still adjusting back, and I suspect it may fall as low as about 300. And if there gets supported about 300, that's where I'm kind of looking at getting in. Now let's look at the 30-minute chart here. Um, Basically, it's been a fade here. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's been fading for basically a week. Now, eventually it's going to get some support. Support is probably going to come at about 300. And I'm going to draw this line across here. You see, the reason I say this is because you see how it moved here, and then eventually it moved above it. So there's resistance, a floor at about 300. I do believe that if it pulls back down to about 300, gets some support and starts to move up, that would be a good entry. But I wouldn't enter it now because it is pulling back, and it is not probably the exact right place to enter it. Matter of fact, I wouldn't enter it at this point. That's just my 2 cents on it. But 300, that's where I would. If it comes down to 300 and it bounces, boy, I would definitely be in it at that point. But I still think it has further to pull back. So right now, we've got to wait for the pullback. And this is, it's once you learn how to buy these pullbacks, I love this because this is a great way to buy stocks. But I have to wait for a pullback to complete to about the $300 level. Upon uptrend, this is where you can enter. So this is kind of this would be my play on Upstart, and that basically would be to yeah, there we go. So basically, we got to wait for this pullback. We have to wait for the pullback to complete, and then once it's completed, and I think it's going to be right about 300, then I think it's going to move. It's going to move higher. Why do I say that? Well, you can see it came back to the 21-day line. It bounced. It's at the 21-day line. It may be bouncing up higher now. So it comes down, bounces up, comes down, bounces, and then it may move higher. So it, I don't know if it'll come all the way down to the 300 line, but that's what kind of I'm showing based on my chart analysis. It may not come quite back to that. It may go down another $10 or so, and then it reverses higher. But I definitely like the stock a lot, and I definitely think you can get into it. But I wouldn't buy it right now just because it's tactically probably not as good an entry uh, as it'll as at a low as at a price closer to 300. I hope that makes sense. Let's see. I'm looking at TikTok. Will Tesla continue to go up? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I certainly hope it does. If it does, then if Tesla continues to go up, I will be able to buy new shoes, which is a good thing because I have my eye on some shoes and they're kind of expensive. And if I can make a little bit of money in Tesla, then I can maybe cash out some shares and maybe I can cash out some shares in Tesla and and buy some new shoes. That would be nice. Tesla's up after hours. It's trading right now after hours at 11:21. Not a very good. I don't like to buy in the after hour market because it's a very thin market. So I wouldn't just jump in and buy it. Tesla's a little bit extended right now. I'll be honest, but I do think that by the end of the year, Tesla could easily be over 1,200 a share, and that's kind of what I'm trying to position myself for. There's not really many good places to buy this. I have to admit, the last really good buy place was back down here, where I had a bull call spread, and then I came in and I bought. I started nibbling at 884. I rode that up, and hopefully I'm going to be riding it up higher than that. That would be that would be nice. But Tesla is just it's one of those stocks. I mean, it's in the $1 trillion club. There just aren't that many stocks. They're in the $1 trillion club, of course. Microsoft is the world's most valuable company. It's in the $1 trillion club, which is amazing. And Apple is, and Alphabet. There's definitely a few in there, but still, really, 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 a pretty rarefied, pretty rarefied company in that. So that's why I like. That's one of the reasons I like Tesla so much. Let's look at SPLK, Spelunk. Oh yeah, Spelunk. Okay, this is a database. This is if this is the company I think it is, SPLK. This is sort of a base software company, enterprise. Um, I haven't looked at Splunk in a long time, and so this is interesting. I'm glad that you brought this up. Definitely like to. I haven't been following this one to be too carefully. So it's you know it's definitely um, I'm glad you're bringing this one up. Currently, Splunk is in a buy zone, which is a good thing. It's above that pesky 200-day line, so that's a good thing too. And but it only has a relative strength of 55. So this is a little bit low. Part of the reason this is a low relative strength is it's for a year and it's been lagging the market for a year. So let's kind of see about this area. This area has been doing great. Computer software database, 13 out of 197. So let's see if I can pull this group up because I think it's very very worthwhile taking a look at this group because this is kind of where you always want to fish where the fish are, and this is this group has been improving tremendously. So hopefully I can get this chart up here. Let's see if I can get the group up because I want to start looking at this group to see not only if Splunk is the thing to buy, but there we go. Okay, so the computer software group. Let's look at it. That's number 16. Oh, that's Trump. There we go. Oh no, we're on oil and gas. I'm sorry about that. Let's see if I can get the right one up here. All right, we want to look at computer software. We want to look at computer software. So Let's see if it's going to let me. I think that's number 11. Yeah. No, that's automobile manufacturers. No, 16, I guess that is. Yeah. Truck, no. Computer software enterprise, integrated. Hmm. Okay, well, let's look at Splunk again. SPLK. And all right, let's try to get the right chart up here. There we go, Splunk. So there's just a lot of network traffic today. Um, let's see if I can get it. There we go. So there we go. Okay, so this is Splunk. It's above the 200-day line, which is good. It's above the buy point, which is 160, currently 164. Let's take a look at the checklist. I kind of want to look at this checklist here. Okay, the checklist is weak, and this is unfortunate because it's a very good stock. But let's see where it's falling down. Okay, it's 15% off the all-time high. That's that. I do understand that. The earnings per share is off. Relative strength is low, and uh, EPS is low. So what I'm looking at here is probably not. I probably would not. Well, I probably would not buy this one. This is on the bubble. I could possibly buy this one if it moves above that 10-day line. So I could possibly buy this one, but I would be careful. So I would be careful with this one right now. I would be careful with this one. It's looking good, but it's still a watch list. I'm afraid to say, at least for me, because I think there's better merchandise out there right now. So my take on this is, uh, still a watch list, but very good stock. I wouldn't probably buy this. This just isn't a good entry, at least from what I can see. But it's still great stock. It's in a great area. And so I'd wait for it to settle down. I would see if it can hold above that 160 level. If it can hold above 160, then I might be interested in Splunk. SPLK, of course, is the symbol. There. I think I'm back now. I think I'm back. There we go. And with Spelunk, um, hopefully we can. Hopefully that. Hopefully I'm back up now. All right. So let's look at. We did Upstart, Lucid. Amgen. Interesting. Let me come back to that one. Ops- oh, QS. Interesting. QuantumScape. I haven't looked at QuantumScape in a while. Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can pull up QS um, to see QuantumScape QS, and let's take a look at QuantumScape. Yeah. All right, QuantumScape. All right, QuantumScape still is below the 200-day line. It was a little bit of action here. 84 relative strength. I'll look at the weekly chart here. Boy, I don't think this one. Yeah, I don't think this one is ready to go. It looks like it's possibly reversing. I think you're gonna. I would pass on this one. I would definitely pass on QuantumScape for now. So that's probably my last stock. So I would pass on this one. Um, yeah, I would pass on QuantumScape. So, oops. So it's a good stock, just not for a watch list. I just be careful with this one right now. Well, everybody, it's been an hour, and thank you so very very much. It's Friday, and just wanted to point out that we have um, that I think I have the new ready list, and I want to kind of see if I can um, pull up the link to that, because that's kind of a good thing. It's the ready list. It'll be on the www Dallas Trading Floor. So I will put the ready list up right after the show, and this should be up here pretty quick. Um, and the ready list is a good place. It's not. I'm not recommending you buy any of these, but this is kind of a good place to do your looking. I found some great stuff on there. By the way, SE Limited is setting up very nicely. Symbol SE. It's on the list, but the way you get the list, if you're on TikTok, just go to the profile, click the link, and I should have a link for it in about 10 minutes after the end of the show. And then if you're watching on YouTube or all the other just go to the same thing, and that's www Dallas Trading for. Wait about 10 minutes, and I'll have the list of it's the ready list for 10/28, 10/28, 2022. So I should have that list up hopefully here in about 10 minutes. But everybody, have a really great weekend. Happy trading, and I hope to see you here back tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow, back on Monday at 9. At 3:30. Hopefully, I will get some of these bandwidth issues solved, and it'll be less choppy than it's been. But till then, happy trading. Thanks, everybody. So great to do the show, and I thank you very much for all your good comments. And by the way, tell your friends about it, and tell your friends about our show. We're growing all the time, but I can always use the help. So please like it, and